a mysterious doctor named Warrior has developed a new experiment in which he will reward couples with $1 million if they stay in a flawless room for 50 days. If one of them leaves the room, the prize drops to $1 million. No contact with the outside world, no entertainment, and only each other's company. However, they can receive treats by paying for them with part of the prize money. Today's couple, Mike and Kate, believe this will be easy money. Mike thinks they're very lucky to have found this place, while Kate sees it as a second chance that they truly deserve. However, she also mentions that maybe they should split the money to make things easier. Her plan is to invest the money, which Mike finds incredibly boring. He sees his future as having fun and enjoying life without thinking about money anymore. After an artificial intelligence voice reminds them of the rules, they explore the area and realize they weren't joking when they called it flawless. Everything around is white, and the only items in the room are a bed and a bench. There is also a simple bathroom, which they are allowed to enter one at a time according to the rules. There's a red button they can press if they want to leave, a touchscreen where they can request treats, and a large clock above the exit door that counts down the time. The remaining time until the end of the experiment. Their food is calculated based on daily nutritional needs and is just a plain white, flavorless shake delivered in a white cardboard package. The room is also equipped with automatic lighting that changes throughout the day to signal morning and nightfall. An alarm clock can be set on the screen. Mike plans to treat this like a vacation and sleep in late. But Kate sets the alarm for an early hour so she can maintain some kind of routine. When they go to bed on the first night, Mike tries to be intimate with Kate, but she worries that the professor might be watching them. Mike insists, and eventually they quietly do it under the covers. To look at herself in the mirror and say a few affirmations to keep her spirits up and her goals clear. After their bathroom routines, they throw their clothes down a laundry chute. Covers, and in return receive very simple pajamas, though at least they have some color. To occupy herself, Kate tries to figure out why the professor created this experiment. Mike tells her about a documentary he watched about one of the professor's previous experiments that ended in tragedy and the death of a working-class family. No one knows exactly why the professor does all this, only that he has a lot of money and enjoys using it to put people into unique situations. Because he is fascinated by the human condition. Entertainment becomes a problem sooner than they expected. Kate enjoys meditating, while Mike sometimes just stares at the clock. He also goes off on philosophical tangents about various topics, like the meaning of the color white, which he analyzes using his art school knowledge, or which direction one should brush their teeth. Kate constantly reminds him not to look at the clock and to stay focused on the goal, but it's hard to stay positive when Mike can't even get proper sleep. Kate continues to repeat motivational phrases, make the bed, and tries to keep Mike's spirits up. While Kate meditates, Mike tries to exercise, mostly by running. They play clapping games and even dance sometimes. When they take off their dirty pajamas, they receive identical clean ones. Several weeks pass, and finally, something unusual happens. Mike finds a bug that somehow made it into the room. Speaking to it like a child, Mike tries to feed it a bit of the food shake, but as soon as he spills a few drops on the floor, the AI voice reminds them that the food is for participants only. Worried that the bug won't survive, Mike asks if they can let it go somehow, clarifying that he has no plans to leave. Kate tells him that the speaker through which the AI speaks is not two-way. She already tried. Mike then decides he's going to press the button to open the door. This sparks an argument because Kate is convinced that even touching the button will make them lose the prize, even if Mike doesn't actually leave, but just reaches out to save the poor insect. Putting the bug down gently, Mike tells Kate it's a living being and accuses her of lacking compassion. Kate fires back that he's being condescending just because she's not as much of a vegetarian as he is. As the argument gets more intense, Kate finally admits she believes Mike only became a vegan to spite his father, a man who always provided for him and made sure he never suffered. Now, Mike wants to build a reputation as a street artist. Kate tries to walk away from the conversation, but ends up stepping on the bug. Mike struggles to believe her when she says it was an accident, and she apologizes. Mike spends the rest of the day sulking in a corner, until he finally decides that doing nothing is just unhealthy. Since each of them can request 2 treats, Mike decides to ask for one, even if it will cost them $100,000 from the prize. Kate doesn't approve, but Mike doesn't need her approval. His treat turns out to be a simple green crayon. It's not much, but at least now he can draw on the walls. After watching him draw for a while, Kate asks him to draw her. Mike agrees, but refuses to do a realistic portrait because he finds them boring. He prefers sticking to his own style, which makes Kate not want to be his model anymore. Mike keeps drawing until the crayon is completely used up, and he really upsets Kate by leaving green smudges all over the bathroom and the towel on the floor. Later, she apologizes for acting foolish and explains that this is harder than she thought. But at least they only have 20 days left. The days pass in boredom until one morning, Kate wakes up and finds a gun in the bathroom. They're too scared to check if it's loaded, and its presence haunts them. So they decide to hide it under the bed, since the artificial intelligence forbids them from putting anything that isn't clothing into the laundry chute. Sometime later, the couple finally receives a reward: a video message containing messages from their loved ones. Mike gets a message from his sister, who talks about how things are going with her and their parents. She also mentions she thought Mike had broken up with Ka. Seeing his sister, Mike is overjoyed, but Kate doesn't want to see hers. She panics when a video of her father appears on the screen. Her dad has finally left the streets and now lives in a homeless shelter. The video won't stop, no matter how much he begs. Kate runs to hide by the bathroom door and cries, and Mike comes to comfort her. After falling asleep curled up next to him, Kate doesn't get up when the alarm announces morning. She stays in bed all day, having fallen into a depressive state. When Mike expresses his concern, Kate confesses she hasn't seen her father in many years and always lied to Mike about who he was because she was ashamed of him and how much he used to drink. He drank away their home, her tuition, and her chances of growing up like a normal person. With just over 2 weeks remaining, Kate still lies in bed, while Mike tries to find new ways to entertain himself. Like, he alters his drawings by smudging them with his fingers or reads the tag on his pajamas, with as many different emotions as possible, like in acting class exercises. He tries to get Kate to eat by joking about the food, but it's useless. So he joins her in bed, hoping to comfort her. That doesn't work either. And sometimes, Mike decides to sleep on the floor just to feel something different. One morning, he tries to convince Kate to take a treat, but she refuses to lose the money. More and more upset, Mike says he's not sure he can continue the experiment anymore. This finally gets Kate out of bed, but before taking a shower, she tells Mike to go ahead and take the second treat, even if it costs them $250,000. Mike does, and is shocked when the door opens and a naked woman named Simona walks into the room. She knows nothing about the project. She's just an actress being paid for a job that required signing a bunch of NDAs. Though she was booked for a month, her agent said she'd probably only stay 24 hours. Kate doesn't like her presence much and makes Mike give Simona his t-shirt so she can cover herself a little. Simona notices Mike's artwork and compliments it, which annoys Kate even more. At night, Mike suggests sleeping on the floor while the two women take the bed. Simona offers to stay awake and keep watch while they sleep. Kate is annoyed by their behavior and decides they can all share the bed, only if she sleeps in the middle. That night, Kate is the only one who manages to fall asleep. In the morning, she doesn't see Simona in the bed and thinks she left, but Simona is actually in the bathroom. Unable to take it anymore, Kate decides to take a treat for herself and receives a small box with 3 fun candies inside. She immediately eats one and offers one to Simona. After a long hesitation, Mike takes one too. The three of them start dancing and spinning around the room, sharing a few group kisses. But soon, Mike starts feeling uneasy. He begins seeing blood everywhere and has a nightmare where he's underwater and his younger brother is falling with him. Ending. Mike is struggling to return to reality. He also asks Kate to leave this place, mentioning something about his brother. Kate has to pull him back to bed and calm him down until he falls asleep. Later, Simona asks what Mike was talking about, and Kate tells her that Mike's younger brother, Sean, drowned in the family pool when Mike was supposed to be watching him, something he still feels deeply guilty about. Mike was high when it happened, which only made the trauma worse, and it explains why he didn't want to eat the candies here. Simona then asks how they met, and Kate fondly recalls a rainy day when she had no umbrella. Mike came up to her and offered to catch all the raindrops so she wouldn't get wet. When Mike finally regains his senses, Simona tells him she lost her mother as a child. The two of them share their grief. Simona takes Mike's hand to comfort him, and when Kate sees this, she loses it, thinking Simona is trying to steal her boyfriend. Simona ignores Kate's reaction and says that Kate is just angry because she's insecure, which sparks a heated argument. Mike yells at both of them to stop and storms off. Kate tries to apologize, admitting that maybe she overreacted, but Simona adds fuel to the fire, saying, or maybe not. The next morning, Mike feels unwell, but Kate is busy with other things. Simona has finally left, but she leaves a message on the wall thanking Mike for a wild night. Kate is furious, refusing to listen when Mike tries to explain that he did nothing and that the room is just playing tricks to mess with their minds. In her rage, Kate pushes Mike and he hits his head on the corner of the wall, causing it to bleed. Mike pulls away, reminding her that he never cheated on her, not even when she moved to New York. He stopped hanging out with his rich friends just so she wouldn't feel uncomfortable, and he even dropped out of college for her. He was always there for her when she was struggling with depression, and in return, all he gets is jealousy. Kate starts crying and apologizes, but their conversation is interrupted when Mike feels dizzy from the injury. He thinks he needs a doctor, but Kate brings him a nutritional shake to raise his blood sugar and covers the wound with a towel, reminding him that the contract forbids them from seeking medical help. Mike is shocked by her words and begins to doubt whether Kate truly cares about him. The wound turns out to be minor, and the bleeding stops. But Mike can't help but wonder, what if it had been worse? Would Kate have let him die for the money? Hating what this place has done to them, and realizing that money won't fix them, Mike decides to leave, and invites Kate to do the same. Kate refuses, saying it's easy for him to walk away because he's always had money. Then she even pulls out the gun, trying to stop him from leaving. But Mike ignores her, presses the button, and walks out of the room, just a few days before winning. Later, in the bathroom, Kate notices a drawing of raindrops on the wall. It inspires her to think about the button. There are only 2 days left. Months later, we see Mike jogging alone and spotting Kate coming out of a building. They haven't seen each other since the experiment ended, and they decide to go for a walk and talk. Mike asks if she left or if she actually won, but Kate avoids answering, though she apologizes for everything that happened. As they walk away, it becomes clear that the building she exited from is a homeless shelter, with a sign thanking an anonymous donor for funding a new kitchen. Meanwhile, in the spotless white room, a new couple appears, ready to take on the same challenge.